Hi, and welcome to Maths Made Easy. Today we're going to learn how to solve a quadratic equation. You see quadratic equations all the time in your secondary school or high school maths career, and you'll need to know how to solve them quickly and easily. Today we're going to learn how to do that. So, let's start with the basics. What is a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation is an equation of the form some number a times x squared plus another number b times x plus another number c. Then we set that equal to 0. And so when we say we want to solve the equation, we're looking for what value of x you can plug into this to make this equal to 0. So let's get an example here. Let's take 2x squared plus 7x minus 4 equal to 0. Now, what value of x will make this equal to 0? It's not actually that obvious from looking at it, but if you try it out, you'll see that 4 works. So if we put x as 4 in here, we'll see that 2 times 4 squared, so that's 16, plus 7 times 4, so that's 28, minus 4 is actually equal to 0. If you put that in a calculator, you'll get 0 out. But the real question is, how did we actually get to the number 4? That's what we're going to learn how to do today. So, we find the values to solve the equation through what we call the quadratic formula. So now let's just recall that we're working with our equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And then the quadratic formula is this big formula here. Now it may look scary at first, but actually all you need to do with it is plug in numbers, so it's much less intimidating than it actually is. Now let's write it out. So the quadratic formula is this: minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. And so you notice that these letters a, b and c are matching up with these, what we call coefficients, the numbers before the letters x in this equation here. So now what we can do is use this equation here, this formula, to solve our quadratic equation. If we plug in the a, b and the c that we're given into this, it'll give us the x that we need to make it equal to 0. Now, let's just address one thing. What does this plus or minus mean? This plus or minus means that we need to do two calculations. We need to do one calculation where we see this with a plus, and one calculation where we see this with a minus. Now, let's see an example. So, let's imagine our equation is of the form x squared plus 3x, x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. So what we need to do first is match up our coefficients. So we can see that there's just one lot of x squared, so a is equal to 1. We've got one lot of x, so b is equal to 1. And we have c as minus 6. Now, we want to find the x that we put in that will make this equal to 0. So let's give it a try. Let's use our formula. So minus b, so that's minus 1, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 1 squared is just 1, minus 4ac, so that's minus 4 times 1 times minus 6. And then we divide this by 2a, so that's just 2 times 1. Now this is equal to minus 1 plus or minus the square root of, and now we've got 1, and then what's this minus 4 times 1 times minus 6? Well, the two negatives will cancel to make a positive, and then multiplying by 1 won't change anything. So we've got minus 4 times minus 6, that will make 24, times 1, that will still be 24. So we get 1 plus 24 over 2. Now, what is the square root of 1 plus 24? Well, 1 plus 24 is 25, and so the square root of 25 is 5, as 5 times multiplied by itself is 25. So we're left with minus 1 plus or minus 5 over 2. So now we just work it out twice, once with the plus and once with the minus. So let's see it with the plus. So with the plus we get minus 1 plus 5 over 2, so that's 4 over 2, and that is 2. And on the other hand, we get minus 1 minus 5 over 2, so that's minus 1 take away 5, so that's minus 6, divided by 2. Minus 6 divided by 2 is going to be minus 3. So we've got two solutions, which is also a little bit weird, but we'll see that they both work. So let's try the first one. So remember, our equation is x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. So let's put it in. Let's put in the 2. So 2 squared is 4, plus x, which is again 2, minus 6. So you can see here, 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. Now let's try with the minus 3. Minus 3 squared, well, we're doing minus 3 times minus 3, so we'll get a positive 9, minus our 3, minus 6, and so this is 9, minus 9 is going to be 0. And so that's just me putting in the numbers here into our equation x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. That's where I'm getting these numbers from, if you were confused about that. Now, let's give you an example to do. So, let's take one with a value for a as well. So, I want you to solve 2x squared plus 7x minus 4 equals 0. So, pause the video, give it some thought, and come back. Okay, so you've given it a try. Here's the solution. So we remember, as before, we match our A, our B, and our C. So here we get our A is 2, our B is 7, and our C is minus 4. Now we just plug into the quadratic formula. Remember, that's minus B, so that's minus 7, plus or minus the square root of B squared, so 7 times 7 is 49, minus 4AC, so that's minus 4 times A, which is 2, times C, which is minus 4, all over 2A. So what's 2A? That's 2 times 2, so that's 4. Now what does this equal? Well, this is equal to minus 7 plus or minus the square root of 49, and now the 4 and the minus 4 make a positive 16, times 2, that's 32. So we get 49 plus 32 over 4. Now, this is equal to minus 7, and now 49 plus 32 is 81. So the square root of 81 is 9. Minus 7 plus or minus 9 over 4. And you'll see if before, you'll see as before, if we do it twice with the plus and with the minus, we get two solutions. The first solution will be 1/2, and the second solution will be minus 4. So you can see where those come from. The 1/2 will be if we do minus 7 plus 9, that'll give us a 2 over 4. That's 2 over 4 is equal to 1/2. And the second solution is from minus 7 minus 9. So that's going to be minus 16. And so then you can see we'll get minus 16 over 4, and that is equal to minus 4. Those are our two solutions. If you put a half into this equation, or if you put minus 4 into this equation, wherever we see an x, we put in the a half or the minus 4, you'll see that when you do it all and combine all the values, you'll be left with 0. And so we've solved the equation. We've found the values of x that, when we put them in, give us 0. And that's how you solve quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. Thank you.